Okay, so Daniel 8, verse 9 says, out of one of those four horns came a little horn. So a little horn, here's the four horns here. A little horn will come out of these four, or a little country will come out of these four. And this is the Sykes-Picot Treaty in 1916, just a few years after the start of World War I. It says here, the UK, France, and Russia agreed to divide up the Middle Eastern regions among themselves at that time. The borders between the French and British zones later became the borders between Iraq, Syria, and Jordan. And you can see where Israel is today, right here. That was designated under international and British control. And it says here this agreement effectively divided the Arab provinces of the Ottoman Empire, also known as the Turkish Empire. So it's talking about the Turkish Empire. Again, it says the little horn will rise to power at the end of the four kingdoms, which was the end of the Turkish Empire, the Ottoman Empire in 1923. And it says it will rise somewhere in this region. Again, Israel was designated at that time, at the end of the Turkish Empire, as international territory during the rise of the League of Nations, which later became the United Nations, which we now know as the Beast, whose next order of business after the establishment of the IMF was to make Israel a recognized country. And their treaty with the whole world, the UN's treaty with the whole world, the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons, is the most widely accepted treaty in the world, and Israel is one of only 4 countries that has not signed this treaty. So remember what the scriptures say in Daniel 11. It says, the king of the north will cast up a mount, and he shall stand in the glorious land, and in his estate will stand up. And remember this word, right? So it says a vile person here. In his estate will stand up a vile person. But remember, this word right here does not mean person. It's number 959, and it's actually a verb, and it means to despise or hold in contempt. So it's not saying that it's a person that will stand up. That's really important. That word, it is not even a noun. Not only does it not mean person, it's not a noun, it's a verb. It's an action. It means to hold in contempt. So it's saying here that in verse 21, Daniel 11, verse 21, it's saying the king of the north's estate will be held in contempt. So he will come in peaceably. And again, all the he and all of that, it can be he, she, or it. And it's talking about it here because it's referring to a kingdom. Because in Daniel, the word king can also mean kingdom. And it uses the word he all throughout these ancient texts. But the word used for he can also mean it. And in this case, the correct translation is it. It's a country. It's referring to a large country. And this is happening, again, it says it's happening at the end of the 4 horns, at the end of the Ottoman or Turkish Empire during World War I, right here. These territories of Syria, Israel, and part of Iraq were created by the UK, France, and Russia. That area was part of the ancient Seleucid Empire. It was one of the 4 horns of Daniel 8, which was later part of the Turkish Empire right here. And the Turkish Empire was the final and 4th horn, of which the little horn will come out. So this shows the 4 horns on the modern map. It's not exact, it's just a rough outline. But the text says the little horn comes in peaceably at the end of these 4 kingdoms, which occurred at the end of the Turkish Empire during World War I. That's when the UK, France, and Russia created the segregated regions of Iraq, Syria, and Israel, and making Israel international territory. So the King of the North, UK, France, Russia. It says the King of the North, okay, shall come and cast up a mount, and he shall stand in the glorious land, which by his hand shall be consumed, and his estate shall be held in contempt, but he shall come in peaceably and obtain the kingdom by flatteries. And after the league made with him, the worldwide nuclear treaty, after that he shall work deceitfully. That's what it says right here in Daniel 11. It doesn't tell us who the King of the North is exactly, but we know the beast is the UN, and we're told the dragon gives power to the beast. And we also know Daniel identifies countries by their national animal many times. So when we look to find out which country of the North uses a dragon as their national animal, we find out that it's the UK. The dragon gives power to the beast, the UN, and we've talked about that before. It's obvious because the UN was created originally by two men from France and the UK. So the dragon, the UK, gave power to the UN literally, which took over this region right here at the end of the Fourth Empire, just like Daniel said. He will stand in the glorious place and come in peaceably. So the UN appointed international country of Israel right here at the edge of the Mediterranean Sea here, again, was created by the UN, the final phase of the beast, right here, which was the Holy Roman Empire previously, in the previous phase, the fourth phase of it. And at the height of the Roman Empire, the entire Mediterranean Sea right here was controlled by the beast. So that's why it says, and a beast rose out of the sea, because they had control over the whole Mediterranean Sea. And if you look at the Mediterranean Sea upside down, it looks like the head of a beast, with Israel right here as its horn. And Lamentations 2 confirms it. It says, he hath cut off in his fierce anger all the horn of Israel. So Israel is the little horn. It's not the big horn of Africa right here. As opposed to that, it's the little horn here. It's ruled by the beast, the international territory of the UN, who is one of only 4 UN countries that has not agreed to sign the nuclear non-proliferation treaty that they made everybody else sign over the whole world. The little horn of the beast, to whom the dragon gives power, the King of the North. Who stands in the glorious land, which by his hand shall be consumed. Okay, so let's take a look at this army in Iraq again. Revelation 9 tells us it's preparing for the asteroid impact when it plans to invade the third part of the earth, which we're told very clearly is where the seat of the beast is. And that very likely refers to either New York City or maybe Israel. But it's the seat of the beast, and we're told that's where the asteroid hits. And we're told the asteroid impact, we're also told that it hits the sea, causing a tidal wave, which is referred to as a flood all over in the Bible. And right here in Daniel 11, it says, but with the arms of a flood, right here, verse 22, but with the arms of a flood, they shall be overflown. And I think that's supposed to say overthrown. So remember, the beast here in Revelation 17, the beast intends to arise from the asteroid impact, what will go into perdition instead. So they intend to rise out of that event. We've looked at the meaning of these words right here before. Right here, 3195, where it says shall ascend out of the bottomless pit. This word 3195, translated as shall, it actually means to intend. So it's saying they intend to rise out of the bottomless pit. The beast doesn't actually rise out of the pit that the asteroid creates. The texts tell us the beast is destroyed by that asteroid in both Daniel 2 and Daniel 7 and also here in Revelation. But they are intending, they are planning to rise at that asteroid strike. But instead, the beast will go into perdition. It tells us right here. And here, with the arms of a flood, they shall be overthrown. And what is the flood? It's the asteroid hitting the sea. Here in Revelation 17, Babylon is thrown down by a stone hitting the sea. So the stone in Daniel 2 right here destroys the fourth part of the image upon its feet, which is the fourth beast of Daniel 7 that is destroyed by a burning flame. So a burning flame. The beast thinks it will rise out of that asteroid impact, but instead it will be destroyed by the burning, fiery stone, Daniel 2, that hits the sea, Revelation 17. And that asteroid hitting the sea causes a tsunami, which is the flood. With the arms of a flood, they will be overthrown, Daniel 11. And the end thereof shall be with a flood, Daniel 9:26. Right here as well. The flood, we're told in Daniel 9, occurs in the midst of the week. The sun and the moon going dark at the end of the tribulation that's described in Matthew 24, that's the same thing. It's the asteroid impact. Because Jesus said it will hit immediately after the tribulation. Remember, the sun and the moon going dark. That's in Revelation 9. It tells us that the asteroid causes that. Jesus said it will hit immediately after the tribulation, which we know is a 1260-day or year period of persecution that will be perpetrated by what we know was the Holy Roman Empire. That power founded by the Italian territorial advancement from 754 to 756, right here. 1260 years later is 2014 to 2016. Jesus said, when you see the abomination of desolation that Daniel talked about in Matthew 24, he said, when you see that idol of terror that we saw stand in the hallowed place in 2012, except we know it happened in New York City, the headquarters of the UN. That's why the sea may refer to the Atlantic. But Jesus said, when you see that idol of terror right here, then those in Judea will escape by the rising. And what is Judea? It literally means those who will be praised. It's the elected ones out of the human species. And Revelation 12 says the woman or the multitude will escape after a very specific celestial configuration is seen in the sky. That sign occurred also in Revelation 12, and it won't occur again for another 500 years. So we are in this time right now. It's hard to believe, but we really are. It's here right now. So that's it for this week. I hope this was encouraging for you and a wake-up call for others. Again, thank you so much to those who are making these videos possible, because I really can't do this without your help. So thank you so much. And if you want more information, there are a ton of links below. Just click on Show More, and it opens up a lot more links right there. So again, thank you so much for your support. I hope you're doing well, and I'll talk to you next week. Okay, bye-bye.